Hello, it's Eric Feichthaler, also known as Elephant Eric, and I am in honor of Taylor Bybee's new roller coaster list, making my own top 25 roller coasters in America. Here's a quick note, I have only been on 153, which is a third of the roller coasters Taylor's been on. So my list will differ, and many roller coasters you like will not make it. However, my opinion, even if it has all of your favorite roller coasters, will differ. So feel free to comment down below any suggestions. Now let's get started. But first of all, these are a few of the parks I haven't been to. You can come back later if you want to read those. But here we go. Number 25 is Raptor at Cedar Point. This is a very underrated B&M roller coaster. It's intense, compact, and it just really has an intense, great ride experience. Number 24 is X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This ride is really fun if you sit on the inside, and the music going up the lift hill is pretty cool. However, fire never went off on this ride when I was riding, and besides being a 4D roller coaster, it's just solid. Number 23 is the Incredible Hulk at Universal's Islands of Adventures in Orlando, Florida. This ride is really awesome. It launches, has great theming, great inversions, and a unique layout. I just love it. And number 22 is Kumba at Busch Gardens, Tampa. Now, this ride is really intense, and I love that. It has 7 inversions, and the one turn going into the tunnel is really cool. 21 is the best Premier Rides roller coaster out there. It's Mr. Freeze Reverse Blasted over Texas. Since I have not been to St. Louis, that will not be counting. But I really love this ride. It launches backwards into an inverted top hat, goes up 200 feet, and it has good station theming. Kicking off my top 20 is the Beast at Kings Island. This ride is really fun. It's long, it has some airtime, great night rides. It's my favorite wooden roller coaster so far. Number 19 is Monte at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This is a great B&M invert. It has 7 inversions. It has an underground cobra roll, and it has some theming, and it's just a really intense but smooth ride. Number 18 will be a shock to some of you. It's Shikai at Busch Gardens, Tampa. I really love this ride. I like all dive coasters. I know that shocks some of you, but I think B&M, all of their rides, have great experiences, except the stand-ups. Some of those are bad. But this one has 2 vertical drops, a big overbank turn, dive loop, and water splash. Number 17 is Banshee at Kings Island. This ride is really fun. Best invert out there. Featuring unique layout, 6 inversions, intensity, and a big rolling sound at the top of the lift hill. Number 16 is Tatsu at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This ride is awesome. It has a great layout with great terrain, inversions, and it really does feel like you're flying. And number 15 is Valraven at Cedar Point. I really love this ride. My favorite dive coaster out of 2. And it has 3 inversions and a good, tall, fast, vertical drop. Number 14 is my first hyper to make this list. It's Intimidator at Carowinds. This ride is fun with lots of airtime. But other than airtime, it doesn't have anything to offer, so it won't be any higher. Number 13 is also a little bit of a shock. It's Gatekeeper at Cedar Point. Gatekeeper I found really fun. Wing coasters I think are very underrated. And this one is the best I've been on, because it's the only one I've been on. But still, it has a twist at the top, huge dive loop, near miss elements, 6 inversions, cool cars, and of course, it goes right over the front entrance of Cedar Point. Number 12 is the next B&M hyper on this list. It's Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure. The best ride at this park I've been on so far. It just really is fun. Unique elements and great airtime, but overall the ride feels kind of slow, so it won't be any higher than my next roller coaster. Speaking of which, that roller coaster is a B&M Hyper. It's Goliath at Over Georgia. This ride is really awesome, and it has such a good layout. With helixes, airtime hills, and the unique overbank turns, it's hard to get better than that. However, one roller coaster did get higher than that. It's the one kicking off my top 10. It's Diamondback at Kings Island. This ride is amazing. It features airtime, really tall, long ride experience, overbank turns, G-force, negative G's, and the water splash at the end. It's a great roller coaster. Here is quite possibly the biggest upset on my list. It's Intimidator 305 at number 9. I know a lot of you would put this in your top 4, 3, 2, or even 1, but I thought it was sort of just okay. This ride has so little airtime, and it's so intense that it hurts, especially when debris is flying and cuts your lip open. I may or may not be talking about my experience on this ride. And overall, I just think Intamin could have done a little better, but it's a Giga, so I had to put it in my top 10. Taking the number 8 spot is one of your favorite roller coasters, probably your favorite Cedar Point, but not mine. It's Maverick. This ride is really fun, with 95-degree drop, big overbank turns, theming, inversions, and that surprise second launch. But I just thought this ride was not as good when I rode it with hard restraints in 2014. But when I came back in 2016, it was really awesome. And overall, I just think it was good, because first impressions do count. Number 7 is my least favorite RMC. It's Wicked Cyclone. I find this ride really overrated. It does have some airtime and a compact layout, and 3 inversions, but it's slower than other RMCs, and I didn't get a lot of floater airtime on this. I wish it was a little more like the next RMC on this list. And that RMC is New Texas Giant. I really love this ride. I find it incredibly underrated, because when I rode it, in the back row by the way, it was so intense and fast feeling. And this ride, apart from the 80-degree drop, also has overbank turns, intense moments, and airtime hills. How many roller coasters have intense airtime hills? Not many, huh? But it's really just a great ride, and the tunnels at the end take the cake. Falling into my top 5, get it? Anyway, number 5 is Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England. Six Flags New England does not have a lot of good rides. Some of their bad ones being Goliath, Mind Eraser, and Flashback. But this one is really good. I mean, it's almost perfect. Airtime, tall, intensity, unique turns, and theming. It's great, but one thing keeps it from being the best roller coaster out there. The restraints. I really feel like the park could have done better if they had good restraints on this ride. But this is still a fantastic roller coaster, and it deserves a top 5 spot. Number 4 is Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point. This ride, the only reason I put it above Maverick is because, like I said earlier, the hard restraints. This ride is really fun. Tallest, fastest roller coaster I've been on yet. And it has a great view of Lake Erie and some good theming. And taking the bronze is Twisted Colossus, my favorite Six Flags coaster and RMC. It's at Six Flags Magic Mountain, by the way. I'm sure you knew that, though. This ride, it's almost perfect. It has tall, tall experience, 2 lift kills, dueling, even though it's one circuit, 18 airtime moments, overbank turns, bunny hops at the beginning, and the high five moment. It's just a really good ride. Here's a shocker. Number 2 is Millennium Force at Cedar Point. Lots of you don't like this ride and call it Millennium Forceless, but I loved this ride. It was my second major roller coaster, and I found the lift hill to be really fast, great tall, fast first drop, overbank turns, tunnels, and S-bends. It just really was an intense ride to me. You call it Millennium Forceless, I call it Millennium Forceful. And here are a few honorable mentions that didn't quite crack the countdown. Dominator at King's Dominion. Daredevil Dive Coaster at Six Flags Over Georgia. Afterburn at Carowinds. Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens, Tampa. Full Throttle at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Superman Ultimate Flight at Great Adventure and Over Georgia. And here is number 1. It's not much of a surprise to most of you, it's Fury 325. This ride is perfect, literally perfect. Airtime, tall, fast, unique elements, intense, a little theming, and a long ride experience. And of course, that underground tunnel is great. I really just don't think this could be any better. Cedar Fair outdid themselves with this ride. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.